Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to you, wherever you are, whatever time it is when you listen to this. Welcome to my channel. Alright, so whew, let's see what we got clearing out, y'all. I'm starting with the White Sage Tarot. Because I was led to start with this particular deck. So we're gonna see exactly what messages it is that we have coming through. Not all readings are going to resonate with everyone. If it doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. That is okay. That simply means that this reading isn't for you, all right? All right. So, Two of Swords, Two of Pentacles, Page of Wands, anything else? Five of Swords, Ace of Swords. All right. So, ultimately, what this is giving, okay. Ultimately, what this is giving is the 2 days reflecting 2 years of good news within shifting one's thought in regards to the willpower and the truth of one's independence. Within the transcendental spiritual truth of one, of what it is to be direct in the actions of one's emotion and what would be hidden in one's journey or in the path, in the world that one would have created in one's heart. Some of this stuff that is given is going to be in regards to how it is one would view good news, right? And what is kind of given based off of the other deck it is that was calling to me is it'll be about what it is that would have been written in regards to the truth of how one would have gained independence or been independent. Now, the other portion of this, right? I'm going to read it from all of the different perspectives. For some others, it's going to be in regards to the Second Amendment and child soldiers and growing up as, in short, how one would have grown up in the military. However that is that's going to apply, because it's given a whole bunch of different aspect from being a soldier to being a general. One of the movies that was coming to me is King of Paper Chasing. The difference between which one did you like more, the King of Paper Chasing or Brown Sugar? That's what it's given. So it'll be about the transcendental spiritual truths that comes into place with one nurturing the beyond the shadow of a doubt, how one would nurture potential, or the potential it is that would have been nurtured. And what I'm getting from this is what it is to take action. All right, what it is to be successful. Okay, and to be a safe home. All right. So, in regards to this whole aspect of how one would have, okay, so in the lowest form, it'll be the situation that comes with the indecision of juggling good news, of winning at all costs, of one being able to shift their inspiration in a day. And it'll be about 9 years. And what I notice is this is like a childhood situation that will come into fruition with what it is that would have been hidden and in one's heritage and culture. And what success said Success that's true belongs to me. Success with honor and integrity. Then you have victory. I shall celebrate and I shall rise. I will let victory make me wise. And glamour. Into this mirror, I now see the realms of possibility. So some of this stuff is going to be about what constitutes as glamours and what glamour really uh, entails. Because glamours initially were created as a means of security for like the whole, not only securing one's identity, right? But it was also in regards to uh, what goes on in the mirror magic, mirroring aspect. And what goes on with glamours? Well, typically, okay, in a judgment. Oh my. And in the awareness of the judgments that will come into place with the courthouse, house, and mature man. How one would mask themselves as being older. The expectation. It's a lot of different numbers that I'm seeing right now. Especially in regards to this, what it is to change one's willpower in a day within the taking action. Now, this can be a man or a woman, but the signs it is that are coming out, it'll be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Awareness is what this is given. At 12. Okay, so the storyline that is given is like at 12, there would have been this wish, so to speak, of independence and success. And then that would have come into fruition at 23. But what would have taken place with this 35, it would be about the victory of one's house. I shall celebrate and I shall rise. I will let victory make me wise. And house and household. And the good news about a household. And then at 15, it would have been the glamour aspect of the mature man. When you idolize someone, what happens when one is idolized, or realistically, like the whole big brother, big sister situation that comes into place. And then at the age of 39, it would have been this whole aspect of casting the circle. This is going to be about the sigils that would have been used in a structure, in the building of the structure. Some of the other things it is that, what is given is a lot of things that would have been uncovered in the expectation within what it is that will be going on with even having to go to court as a child. So some of this is going to be about the juvenile delinquent courts. The other portion is going to be about the difference between juvenile and juvie and real imprisonment. When you're in prison as a child versus when you're imprisoned as an adult. And a glamour that'll come into place with a mature man. Some of this, whenever I see this particular card, it reminds me of a person I used to work with. Yeah, and within me working with this particular person, since it's coming up, he had what he used to do is he would be the investigator in all these different situations, right? Yeah, but then you get put, when a person would be put back in that particular space, okay, when a person would be put back in that particular space. I remember when I was working at a nursing facility, what ended up happening was the dude, I was having issues with a nurse. And what ended up happening was everybody kept trying to make me work with this person. And it was one of those, yeah, she ran her mouth too much. She gossiped entirely too much. And within her doing so, yeah, it would cause a lot of problems. So what ended up happening was it finally got to administration that I was having issues, and yeah, within me having those particular issues, I was instructed to work on a different hall than her. Well, I had the same issue with somebody else who connected with her a lot. Yeah, and then it was a regulation of me in regards to, how did you say something? It's one of those, it's not about how you say it in regards to, yeah, it was deemed disrespectful with me talking back to her, but the way that she said it to me, and we're the same age, we just have different experience. That's the thing. So some of this is going to be about being the same spiritual age, some of this is going to be about the same actual age, and what it is, yeah, the difference that comes into place with when a person gets deemed as an adult or is addressed as an adult. Yeah, that's a mark of respect. So there's that portion. The other thing that a lot of this is given is the whole scorpion aspect and what happens in Scorpio essence as it grows and matures. Yeah, with these 8 cards. And then it'll be like in the third house, so to speak. Fourth. Okay, it'll be in the fourth house. Now, some of this is going to be in regards to what took place with this courthouse success. How it is one would have even been able to get a house. One of the things it is paying attention to what it is that goes on with glamours and with this mirror and being older. The steps and strides it is that one takes within being older and growing into their maturity. And what expectation it is that one would have seen or had in regards to the stability and practicality of the transformations. One of the things that's kind of coming to me, and we finna get a little bit of clarity with this. Yeah, because one of the things that is when you see somebody else have the glamour that you have or the protective shield. That's part of it. The other part of it is the influence of what's natural and supernatural in regards to what acceptance and rejection is. What's accepted, what's acceptable, what will be rejected. Within 3 years ago. Behavior modification. And do you have that's something that you need to pay attention to. Yeah, because with the dude, when I was on the phone with him and I talked to him, I let him know what was going on. And he used 2 different tones. Now, the thing is, with tone, there's a difference between tone and projection. And when you have a person who is erratic around you, it can cause a disturbance when they're erratic and when things change from one person to the next. yeah, it'll be about the whole favor aspect that'll come into place. I'm thinking this is dealing in regards to me playing that song Down a Witch's Road, right? And it's one of those, yeah, because it's given part of what constitutes its copycat essence, right? One of the things it is that I talked about a lot was over the years, be what you miss about the person. Now, the thing that'll come into place with that is what you miss about the person, right? Is, and you act on it, is going to show you, yeah, the level of toxicity that you would have taken in regards to something. So it's that part. And then there being this whole aspect of attraction and aggressiveness, and one being protected, and the inspiration that will come into fruition with recognition and not moving fast, and the investigation. Not being, yeah, investigation and being, I'm hearing not being a chief. Not being a chief, not being in charge. In regards to what it is that goes on with this Queen of Swords as a title, right? So, in this whole Queen of Swords essence, right? Yeah, because we talk about Queen of Swords essence a lot. Realistically, it's about direct and communication. Directly communicating what it is that one will be thinking, whether there's attraction or protection or not. And then within this whole lovers aspect, healing, the Gemini healing aspect, but the lovers healing and the balance of love not walking away, but lust dissipating. The difference between love and lust is what this is giving, and how it balances out. The other thing that this is giving is what it is that goes on when you're dealing with a reactionary sign. What happens with reactionary signs and what happens with mutable signs, right? You got the mutable sign Virgo, right, that has a tendency to shift into an honorary fixer, right? And then, yeah, but what I'm getting from it is when they lose their essence to fix things. Now, on the other portion is the reactionary growth that comes from Libra essence with turning into mutable essence. Yeah, with the whole Gemini aspect and how Gemini could come off as Libra when it's trying to balance itself out, and how Libra comes off as Gemini after it's balanced. And within it being balanced. And then there being this influence of being an empress, what it is to, I heard imposter syndrome. Some of it could be about imposter syndrome, but that's when you're looking at it for the medical aspect. When you're looking at it from the perception of you doing something to in honor of a person that you would miss, that's not copycat. Yeah, y'all. Okay, so what? Yeah, because what it's given is how a person would intentionally mess it up for the communication aspect of things. All right, and then there being this Empress, success, and then I'm hearing unapologetic in regards to one not being nurturing and completing a cycle for one's independence. No, because what this is giving is the 10th coin. The other portion of this is, right, is giving single mothers. It's definitely one of the things. Single mothers. The other portion of it will be about the empresses across the world. And impressive. Impressive. Right? And what it is for 6 years for one to be jealous. The jealousy not being nurtured in the completion of the cycle of one's independence. How one wouldn't have considered jealousy, or how jealousy and things of that nature don't come into play. So it's that part. The other portion of it, right? Some of this is gonna be about because it came up. Some of the pills it is that would have been taken. I'm not gonna get too deep into this because I'm almost out of town. Out of time. Because what it's giving me is what it is that happens when your spirit is someplace else, when your heart is really somewhere. When your heart ain't in it and your heart's somewhere else. And what it is that would have been nurtured with one knowing that one's heart would be in one place and then they find out it's somewhere else. And to follow the chain. Right. And one of the other things is to be a mother of 6. And not apologizing. The other part of this, right? What comes into place with knowing more with being fruitful. What it is to be fruitful, to complete a cycle of one's independence. And the lover's aspect, what this is giving is, with knowing everything it is that you would know about femininity is realistically what this is. What's nurtured in a workplace or a workspace. Whether it's toxic femininity or not, right? And the toxic femininity realistically is just, if you look at it from a healer's perspective, it's going to be about how it is you allow for that more nurturing aspects to come into place. And when a person would be accustomed to what is given is when one is accustomed to one being harsher versus one being softer. No, I heard being badass, being a badass. That sound, oh my god, that sound like my, in the masculine aspect, when you get to a level or a point of maturity, right, in your masculine essence or in your doing, it's one of those, you can't control how you feel. It'll be about what you do. Because see, karma don't give a damn about how you feel about how something has to be done. It really cares more so about whether or not you actually do it. Now, some of the planets that are involved are going to definitely be Libra. With Libra, but it's also going to be Venus. It's going to be Venus, most certainly. And Mercury. The air of Mercury. Okay, the air, ERR of Mercury. Communication and miscommunication. And the truth that comes into place with it. When you would have been a kid. Being a kid versus being an adult. Who are you as a child? Who are you as an adult? And who are you as a healed child within your adulthood? All right, so hopefully it helps you guys out just a little bit. Gave you a tad bit of an inclination as to a few different things it is that would be going on. I'm hearing something about, with Friendship Village. Because with Friendship Village, ultimately, the lesson that was pulled from it is you'll get people who want you to just get along with a person just for the sake of getting along with them. But that in itself is mental abuse. Because in the workplace, you're not supposed to have all those different types of situations happening in the daggone workplace. You leave work at work and home at home. Work is like school. When you learning and things of that nature, you don't really want to pull too much negativity, from your home life and put it into your educational life, because what can end up happening is it'll distort the precursor for one activating what it is they want to know in their higher knowing. Okay? So, yeah, I hope that helped you guys out just a little bit, all right? Gave you a tad bit of an inclination. There's a few different things it is that will be going on. If you like to, you can schedule at Lightwork and Lightwork LLC at gmail.com. Yeah. Because, see, remember, light work ain't like work. It's not like work. It's not like work. And that's why you have to stay light while you work.